tonight. I'm humble, and I am excited to say what is about to come out of my mouth. First and foremost, in case you live under a rock, boom. We have yet another bank collapse in the United States. This would be the fifth one of 2023. Now, prior to this collapse, with all the collapses that happened earlier this year, the very first one was Silicon Valley Bank. We all know that one. First Republic. There was a lot of panic. We had the Run 'em Live. We discussed what all of the fear that's out there is, and we addressed that fear. Static? Yeah, of course. Why not? Why wouldn't I? I do promise I will fix these settings. Just sucks. So let's talk a little bit about the Citizens Bank. Now, this one is a regional bank in Iowa. You could see here that the FDIC has shut down a bank in Iowa after regulators discovered significant loan losses on its balance sheet. Citizens Bank in Sac City is now on the list of failed banks. And Iowa Trust and Savings Bank has assumed all deposits in order to protect depositors. For those of you on locals, I have a graphic on the screen, and I'm going to do this for a little while tonight. So if you want to hop over to Rumble or DLive, you will be able to see it there. Physical locations will reopen under a different name, Iowa Trust and Savings Bank, on Monday. This bank was established in 1929. It's the first bank closure in Iowa since 2011. Very last paragraph here, I put a red box around. According to the Iowa Division of Banking, the bank had about $66 million in total assets and $59 million in total deposits. As of September of this year, it's over $100 million. Lost. Gone. Gone. All the assets gone. $59 million in deposits. $59 million in deposits. Another one bites the dust. Now, this bank failure, just so we put this in perspective, is not on the scale of Silicon Valley Bank or First Republic or something like Bank of America, Chase, Citibank. Those are huge, huge banks. Huge. The problem, and the thing that makes this bank failure worse than any of those other banks that I mentioned, is this is what's called a regional bank. Now, here's the problem with a regional bank. Those are the banks that you use. Those are the banks that are local. Those are the banks that are not part of the big banking conglomerates like Bank of America, Citibank, and Chase. No sound? What the fuck is going on here? Rumble is working, no sound. Go to Rumble, sound, no sound. This is just really, really, I mean, it really, oh, I know why. The green MacBook guy. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Better now on locals, right? Yeah. Sorry, it's just so stupid. I know. Anyway, a regional bank is even worse than those bigger banks, because those are the banks in your neck of the woods. Those are the banks that you use. People in Iowa, those are the banks that the people in Iowa used. Citizens Bank. Now, it's not the big Citizens that you know about, the big green Citizens. This is just a smaller local bank in Iowa. Most of Iowa used it. Now, there is another bank that's taking over, blah, 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 for Citizens, blah, blah, blah. They're eating the bad, that blah, blah, blah. Here comes the FDIC to the rescue. Yeah, right. Good luck getting your money back. Good luck getting that $59 million back. Not going to happen. Talk to the people at SVB. Talk to the people at First Republic. Talk to the people that lost all their deposits earlier this year. They didn't get their money back yet. They got up to their 250,000 and that's it. And that's only some of them. This financial crisis is way more, way bigger, and way scarier than anything our country has ever seen, and that's including the Great Depression, that's including the mortgage crisis of 2008, 2009. This is the cat's meow. This is the biggest thing that's happened in the United States ever. Now, let's talk a little bit more about regional banks. There was an article posted, let me put it on the screen here. This was from March, I believe. Yep, March 19th of earlier this year. Let's make it a little bit bigger. U.S. banking crisis. Close to 190 banks could collapse, according to the study. First line, last week, First Republic Bank became the third bank to collapse, the second largest bank failure in U.S. history after Washington Mutual collapsed in 2008 amongst the financial crisis. Let me tell you something. Those 190 banks that this article is referring to, guess who was on that list? Citizens Bank. And guess who else is about to collapse as well? The rest of them. This is a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. Big, big, big deal. Now, I know what you're saying. Well, Phil, I have less than $250,000 in my regional bank that's also on the list of 190 banks. By the way, 190 banks takes up pretty much all of the country for regional banks, right? Because you're regional, so you're looking at Northeastern, you're looking at Southern, you're looking at Northwestern, Pacific. You're looking at, all of these different areas, Midwest of the United States. 190 spread across, 6, 7 regions? That's a lot. Chances are your money right now is in one of them. Now, you may say, okay, well, big deal. The FDIC got me. I'm insured up to $250,000, bitches, right? No. Let me tell you why. Back in 2008, there was this insurance company. It was called AIG. You know what happened to AIG? Kaput. Finagle. Gone. Bankruptcy. They shut down. They closed down. AIG had everyone insured. Everybody. All of the big stock market guys, all the big banks, and they went under. What do you think the FDIC is? The FDIC is just the Federal Reserve's insurance wing. That's all it is. Do we know what the condition of the Federal Reserve is right now? Of course we do. Of course we do. Keep raising rates. They're completely bankrupt. Completely. They got no money at all. That's why they're trying to siphon money through Congress in the form of aid for Ukraine or aid for now Israel or whatever, because the cabal just doesn't have any more money. So they're trying to get it through our system, and they're trying to pass it off as help for another friendly nation. And neither of those nations are friendly. Let's get a grip. But in reality, the FDIC is the insurance that will cover you if your regional bank goes under. But if the FDIC is unable to cover the depositors' cash that's in the banks, you're out. You're out. You don't get your money. And I know it seems crazy. Phil, I have $5,000 in the bank. That's what I get every 4 weeks or once a month or whatever, and that's what I pay my bills with. Well, that's unfortunate because it's just going to go up in smoke if your bank collapses. Let me tell you something, guys. Today marks an enormous occasion that will be remembered, which is why I titled tonight's live remember, what happened today publicly with Citizens Bank, but even more so behind the scenes, has been the most significant event that I have seen happen behind the scenes in the last year or two. The finalization of NESARA. Something that we've all been waiting for what now? 13 years? 12 years? The finalization of NESARA has happened today. The reevaluation of currency of all countries worldwide has happened today, November 5th, 2023. It is done. It is done. It is over. Reevaluation has happened, and what you are about to see over the next several weeks is bank failure after bank failure after bank failure after bank failure. It is going to be a landslide of banks. Face first in the dirt. Finagle. Kaput. Today is the day, the first day of the rest of our life. Now, your obvious next question will be, well, I don't see any debt forgiveness. I don't see any this. I don't see any that. All right, sit tight. The announcement's coming, but there are things that have to happen before it. But I can tell you with 100% certainty that it is done. It is done. And it happened this morning. Why on November 5th? Was the gunpowder treason part of it? Was a year till the election part of it? Who knows? I don't know why they chose today. I really don't give a shit, do you? I wish it was last November 5th, right? But we're playing with the house's money now. We've never more been at the precipice of resetting our lives. Now, I want to review real quickly. We'll spend about 5 or 10 minutes on this, and that's it. And then we're going to get into the other stuff because the other stuff's good too. I want to review what NESARA is. A lot of you may not know. A lot of you may be new followers to me. I did a NESARA live many moons ago. I think I actually had to take that one down, so I don't even know if it's still on my channel anymore. So I want to review one more time the details of what NESARA is. But before I do that, I just want to make, a statement up front. I don't know which of these are going to go into effect. I do know some of them that will, but I don't know other ones. So let's look at the list one more time. And this guy here, his name is Capit. He says, Phil knows nothing. All guessing. Bring the proof. Go back to the mainstream media, dude. All right, let's bring up that list. There we go. All right, I'm going to make this bigger, and then we're going to scroll through it. The greenback and blue guy. Boom, 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 boom. Greenback and blue guy. Here we go. We'll start right up top. NESARA implements the following changes. Number 1, zeroes out all credit card, mortgage, and other bank debt due to illegal banking and government activities. This is the Federal Reserve's worst nightmare. It is, quote, a jubilee or a forgiveness of debt. Number 2, it abolishes the income tax. How many times have we heard different people in government saying that they wanted to abolish income tax? Well, it's here. Abolishes the IRS. Employees of the IRS will be transferred into the U.S. Treasury National Sales Tax Area. So if you are part of the IRS, if you still see the IRS contacting you, that is already, and has been for a while now, under the operation of the U.S. Treasury and not necessarily a part of the IRS itself. But this will be official and officially announced once the announcement is made. Now, don't frown upon the next thing until we talk it through. It creates a 14% flat rate, non-essential, new items only sales tax revenue for the government. In other words, food and medicine will not be taxed, nor will used items such as old homes. Okay, so 14%, you look at that and you're like, whoa, hold on a minute. We're paying 6 or we're paying 7, depends on what state you're in. It's only on new, non-essential items. Okay, food is essential. You need it to live, right? Your medicine is essential, as it says. You need it to live. Clothing is essential. There's probably going to be some sort of amount that you're able, I don't know how it's going to work, to be honest with you, but only new non-essential items. That eliminates just about everything. Somebody just asked in the chat, I just so happened to look down there, Canada too. This is worldwide. This is not United States only. This is global. I'm calling it, I'm referring to it as NESARA, but really it should be JSARA with a G, meaning global. So this is worldwide, and this is why this has taken as long as it had. Donald Trump, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later, on November 5th, 2020, could have been like, hold on, I'm going back in the office, here's why. Instead, we went through all this bullshit, right? We got the fake idiot in office. We have all of this stuff. This is what has been happening behind the scenes. Trump and his administration have been going to these other countries and getting all of the details panned out on a global level. Next one. Increases benefits to senior citizens. Before everybody asks, I do not know. I don't know what the benefits are going to go to. I don't even, honestly, don't even know what they're at right now. So I can't comment on what's going to happen with the benefits for seniors, although we do know that it will go up. Returns constitutional law to all courts and legal matters. That's a big one. And here's why. The people who are in power now, the cabal slaves, the puppets, they don't want constitutional law to come back into court. Because most of what they have done is punishable by death. So they're really worried about that one. Reinstates the original title of nobility amendment. If you don't know what that is, too long to explain. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. Pretty interesting stuff. Establishes new presidential and congressional elections within 120 days after NESARA's announcement. The interim government will cancel all national emergencies and return us back to constitutional law. So, one of the big reasons why I've been saying 2024, I don't give a shit. I don't want to talk about it. I'm sick of seeing Trump is leading in all 6 swing states. Okay, yeah, so he was leading in 6 swing states in 2022. I live and voted in 2020 in Pennsylvania. This entire state is Trump country. Now, I'm not just talking about like little pockets of it. Like, up there and, they hate him in Philadelphia. No. They liked him in Philadelphia. It was probably 50-50 in Philadelphia. And it's usually 80-20 to the Democrats in Philadelphia. Same thing out in Pittsburgh and Allegheny County. 50-50 at worst. Trump destroyed this state. And now he's up by 4 points in the poll. I don't want to talk about it because when NESARA is announced, there's new elections. And not just for presidency. Not just for the presidency. For everyone. Congressional elections. You're talking about House of Representatives and the Senate. You want to know why it didn't matter if Jim Jordan got Speaker? You want to know why this guy is in there now, Mike Johnson or whoever his name is? it's because he's not going to be there long anyway. Matt Gaetz made an example out of McCarthy as a power play, but it really was not 100% relevant to what was actually going on. What was actually going on was all of y'all better worry about your positions when these new congressional elections happen 120 days after Nacera's announcement. Next one down there, monitors elections and prevents illegal election activities of special interest groups. I mean, I don't know how that moved. The greenback boogie. Major greenback boogie going on right now. It should be a very interesting week this week, starting tomorrow. Between Monday and Friday of this week. Poo-wee. Anyway, it fixes our elections, basically. There's going to be QFS, military monitored elections, and it's going to be exactly what we need and exactly what we have been begging for many years to prevent what happened in 2020 from ever happening again. Where am I? Creates a new U.S. Treasury rainbow currency backed by gold, silver, and platinum precious metals, ending the bankruptcy of the United States initiated by Franklin Roosevelt in 1933. We've been talking about this for a very, very long time. We've been talking about the new currency that's coming. We've been talking about the precious metals backed currency. Now, let me tell you something right now. You're starting to see it come full circle, and I could cry right now, to be honest with you. Do you have any idea what will happen to your silver or gold once that is the wrong direction, once this is announced? If currency in the United States, rainbow currency in the United States, is going to be backed by a metal, the valuation of that metal skyrockets. And that's not even to touch on the fraud that's associated with metals valuations right now. It's not even talking about that. We're talking about simply the governments of the world, not just the United States. Okay? And I know it says U.S. Treasury because it's not talking about global, but every country in the world is going to be backed by a metal. Some will be gold, some will be silver, some will be platinum, some will be a combination of all three, some will be a combination of two of those, some might only be one of them. Depends on the country, depends on what the reevaluation of the currency was. However, once that happens, the silver that you hold in your hand. Now, the reason I almost got emotional before was because I introduced to you ways to get your hands on metals, right? The stock market this week, I can't even imagine what's going to happen to the stock market this week. Now, if only Citizens in Iowa is the bank that goes down this week, great. But if there's others that also go down, the stock market is in a lot of trouble. We saw how the stock market reacted back in earlier this year. They went down, and then of course the media put a can on it, and they didn't let out the truth, and whatever. And then suddenly, it just went away after a while. That's not going to happen this time. Your 401k and your IRA is in crosshairs right now. It's in crosshairs. You still have time. Get your ass to goldquiz.com and request the brochure now. Now. If you were lucky enough over the last, this guy, pedo grifter. Pedo grifter. Pedo grifter. That was good. So that's why I put these companies in place so you could prosper and take advantage of what I've known for a while is coming. Next one, forbids the sale of American birth certificate records as chattel property bonds by the U.S. Department of Transportation. You guys ever look into your birth certificates? Did you ever look into them? Did you ever hear about the someone just posted an article that I want to read real quick. I think it's new. Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. As we are live, this is happening. Let me put this on the screen. Just got this just now. You ready for this? As we're live, this is happening. Boom. Can't make this shit up. Let me read this to you. What number is that? $40 trillion in unrealized losses hits JP Morgan Chase as Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and Citigroup face exposure to U.S. Treasuries. You think I'm a pedo grifter? The little guy's in his basement, his mommy's basement. He's like 45 years old. He's like, pedo grifters, type him with 2 fingers. That's right. Listen, guys, this is, $40 trillion. Think they're going to recover from that? I'm going to say not going to. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say they're not going to recover. So, it all ties together. Now, chances are these banks, Wells, Citi, Chase, Citizens, knew what was about to happen today. Was that billion? I'm sorry, I know I said trillion. I didn't count the zero. My eyes are bad. I don't have good eyesight. These are my glasses, by the way, and I'm not wearing them. Because here's why. Let me tell you why I'm not wearing them. I want to wear a hat because my hair is yucky, and that's not going to fly. See? With the hat. It's because of how I wear the hat. Like, if it were more like this, it might work. But then I might look like QAnon John. I know he likes to change his name to different things because he doesn't want to be associated with QAnon anymore. But anyway. So yeah, I can't wear my glasses and wear a hat. And I don't want my yucky hair to be exposed. Anyway, billion. It was billion, not trillion, but whatever. $40 billion. I believe that those banks and other banks were aware of what was happening this morning, and they are panicking. They probably wrote themselves big bonuses and got that. I'm talking about the CEOs and the board members, whatever, got the hell out of there. Here we are. Next one down on the list there, initiates new U.S. Treasury bank system in alignment with constitutional law. So, in other words, we're going to have a brand new banking system across the entire country, if not across the entire world. I'm sure it's going to be different for different countries, but along the same principle as what will be happening in the United States. Somebody just said in the chat, MrCooper.com, they are a mortgage company. They are currently under a cyber attack. I don't think so. I don't think they're under a cyber attack. Phil, you look like Eminem if Eminem didn't always look like he has a broomstick stuck up his ass. Thanks? I don't know. I don't know if the Greenback Boogie. Look, sugar boogie. Give me wife a piece of pie, if you like. Greenback boogie. A greenback is boogieing, all right. Boogieing into oblivion. Next one. Oh, my favorite one. My favorite one. Eliminates the Federal Reserve System. During the transition period, the Federal Reserve would be allowed to operate side by side of the U.S. Treasury for 1 year in order to remove all Federal Reserve notes from the money supply. So, the cash that I've been telling you to get the hell out of the bank and store in your house somewhere in a safe or whatever, just put enough in your bank to do your transactions and that's it, right? That cash, you will have a year to either trade it in or spend it or whatever. And after that year, it's outie. It's gone. So the Federal Reserve is run by the cabal, but now that the cabal is losing power and is going away forever and won't be there anymore, there will be patriots in charge of the Federal Reserve, probably people within government right now that you know of that are really good financially, and they will work side by side with the Treasury to get all of this done. Then from then on, Treasury is our new system. Now, one big thing I want to go back to about that 14% tax. Do you know right now your income tax goes to the IRS, right? Then to the Federal Reserve. Do you know that the government, the government in the United States gets absolutely none of it? Nothing. Doesn't go to our military, doesn't go to our borders, doesn't go to anything. It just goes to a foreign power, the cabal. The 14% tax that we talked about earlier, again, only on non-essential new items, that goes to the government to secure our country, to secure our border, to protect our laws, to protect our elections, to give us better roads, better bridges, better parks. I wouldn't mind if that money goes to my country. Would you? I wouldn't. I almost feel like it's a patriotic duty of ours to have, our extra money that we're paying taxes on, the 14% tax, the flat tax, that extra money it's happening as we're live. I see the links that are in the chats that there's other announcements that are being made right now about other banks. Yes. Here we are. Good to the last drop. Where are we here? Restores financial privacy. So no more telling everybody, and every system knows what your wealth is, from your bank to the IRS to no more of that. We're going to have privacy across the board. Retains, come on, so dumb. Retains all judges and attorneys in constitutional law. So all judges and all attorneys will go, retrains all judges and attorneys. They will all learn constitutional law. So if you're an attorney right now or a judge, there's just going to be a short training period, nothing major, of how constitutional law works. There are currently attorneys that are out there that know constitutional law, but those that don't will. Ceases, this is another really big one, ceases all aggressive U.S. military actions worldwide. No more wars, ladies and gentlemen. And if your country starts a war, you are out. You are out of Gesera. That's it. No second chances, no questions. Excuse me. If you're going to have aggressive military action in our world, you're not going to take part in this system. That's it. No more wars, no more death, no more anything. We are living in peace once and for all. Establishes peace throughout the world, as we just discussed. releases enormous sums of money for humanitarian purposes. Enormous sums of money. Like what, 21 trillion? I mean, I'm just making that number up. I have no idea where I could have got that number from, but 21 trillion, it just kind of popped into my head randomly. I didn't really get it from anywhere. I just thought of it just now. 21 trillion? The Green Mac Boogie. Literally, I just thought 21 trillion. And maybe that might be the amount that gets released for humanitarian projects. 21 trillion to go a real long way worldwide. Think about how much money that is. Like $999 billion. Right? Times 21. Crazy, right? So much money. And the 21 trillion is actually only part that we talked about in a couple lives ago. Now you know why I talked about it. That was only part. It was actually 33 trillion that was available. So enormous sums of money. I'm going to guess that that's what that means. Enables the release of over 6,000 patents of suppressed technologies that are being withheld from the public under the guise of national security, including free energy devices, anti-gravity, and sonic healing machines. You guys might refer to sonic healing machines as something else. Anybody want to guess? Who's going to be the first one? Let's see. It's going to be locals because they don't have a delay. Who is it? I'll give you a shout out. Kiss the Rain. Lori J. T, you were close, but no cigar. Kiss the Rain, medbeds. Medbeds. You guys like calling them medbeds? I'll call them medbeds too. It's fine. Sonic healing machines. Anti-gravity that's not a thing. There is no gravity. We're all density. But what they mean by anti-gravity is fusion. Fusion and fission. Hovering. Do you know that you could... I'm not going to get into that right now. But every one of us have a very special, unique talent. And you don't even know about it. You will. Free energy devices. I've been screaming that energy is free for years and years. You guys heard me talk about it. And one of the biggest frauds, other than NASA and the lie on about Earth, one of the biggest frauds ever is paying utility bills, electricity bills, energy bills, heating bills. There's no need for it. Think about how much money you've paid on your electric bill over the course of your life. Now multiply that by hundreds of millions of people worldwide, billions of people worldwide. All of that money. Crazy. So that's a rundown of NESARA. And again, there were a lot of bullet points there, as we just went over. I don't necessarily know which of them is going to be implemented or which of them is going to be tweaked a little bit. I just know that we're here. We've arrived. We are here. Our time of enslavement of humanity is over. Might not be today, but what happened today is an enormous step to making that a reality. And I couldn't be happier. I could not be happier. Long time coming, right?